Hi there and welcome back to History of Fleetwood Mac. I'm Anita. Today we're going to get started with some Stevie Nicks solo work and some of Mick Fleetwood stuff. We're getting into the very 80s of Fleetwood Mac. Our last video we had wrapped up Mirage, which had come out in 1982. So we're getting into the 80s already, but Stevie Nicks, Lindsey Buckingham, and Christine McVie are really getting their 80s on here pretty soon. Stevie Nicks is still holding on to a little bit of that gypsy persona, a little bit of that 70s girl, but by 86, as we well know, she really got into the 80s. Very, the big hair, lots of everything. Kind of carried through into, her other side of the mirror into 89, a little bit into 90, then she kind of simmered it back down a little bit, but right now we have that perfect balance between 70s rock goddess and 80s video queen. So just really a great time. Uh, Ending with Mirage, kind of an in-between thing that I put with my Stevie Nicks stuff. So maybe it should have come out prior, but it is indeed the Fast Times at Ridgemont High soundtrack. Now, I have to give this one a little bit of a special love. There is no other song in Stevie's repertoire. It's not necessarily my favorite, but Sleeping Angel, in my opinion, has one of Stevie Nicks' finest vocals ever. I I don't know what it is. It's kind of, it just doesn't sound like the other stuff. It sounds very it almost sounds strained in a way, but I just believe that there's just something about it. It's just raw, it's emotional, it's sweet, it hits all the notes right. I know there are some demos of that song, but there's just something very special about the song. Certainly the one that was recorded, the one that's on the soundtrack. We got this one as well on the Enchanted box set later. But this one holds a really special place in my heart because I just think it, and I might have talked about it with my 45s. Garbo was I really like that song too. Some of the B sides are more my favorites, but vocally, I would have to say for Stevie Nicks and her entire catalog of stuff, Sleeping Angel to me is her best vocal recording. So, yeah. So that's just that's my 2 cents worth. Take it or leave it, but just something I'd like to bring up because I wonder what yours is. We all love her voice, we all love her songs, but is there anything that particularly stands out? Maybe not the lyrics, maybe not the melody, maybe not your favorite song, but just something that really stands out where it's just so her. It's just really, you almost feel like you almost feel like you're invading her privacy in a way, in such a way that it's such a sentimental, personal moment. And that's how the song strikes a chord with me, is that it's just very like I said, it's just kind of raw and emotional, and I really like it. So anyway, so that's starting out, that's how I'm starting out the video, is Sleeping Angel on Fast Times Original High, which came out in 1982. Carrying on into, now Stevie's Wild Heart album came out June 10th, 1983, and it was prefaced with some singles, just like the 45s. So the first one we have, actually I'm not too sure if this is the first one. I just put it first because it's not a picture sleeve. What it is that we have this one and we have this one. And it's weird to me because this one is really pretty. This has all the beautiful packaging and such. And on the back of this one it says Stand Back Side 1 edited version and Side 2 album version. And it's got all the promo hacks and all that kind of stuff. But the vinyl inside is exactly the one that you're seeing here. And on the record itself, it says long and short version, not album and edited version, which is just kind of interesting. This exact piece of vinyl is what's inside here. Looks exactly the same. But I do believe that this is a legitimate release, because where else is somebody getting a stamp like this? And if anybody could have a stamp made in the 80s, but just new Stevie Nicks, it really looks to me like something that was sent out more to radio stations, more just the white jackets, just get it out there. Whereas this might have been sent to more executive type people, for the picture and everything like that. And this picture enlarged like that, it's just such a stunning photo as well. Stevie Nicks and Wild Heart Days are really nice too. I'd mentioned that Mirage is my favorite era for Stevie and her look. But definitely going into Wild Heart. I love them all. I mean, Belladonna's got some great stuff. She had some great outfits, um, but yeah, the album cover and the photography, especially the sepia tone stuff, and the stuff that Herbert Worthington was selling at the time. So yeah. So anyway, so this is the two stand back singles. I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. But I always put this down first because it's just the cardboard sleeve, and then followed by the nicer looking promo jacket with all the stuff on the back. So yeah, so that's that. And then we have a not promo item in the UK. This was released as a single, not a dance single, but not a promo either. And it had Stand Back on one side and Garbo as the B side, just like the 45, but then also had Wild Heart, which if I'm not mistaken, Wild Heart was the B side to If Anyone Falls, if I'm not mistaken. So this is kind of a unique item. This is the back of the. So it's a LP, and I think it's play it at 45 RPM. Maybe it's 33. No, 45 RPM. So yeah, I guess you could go to the store. I'm surprised the United States did not have something similar. I think this was maybe it's kind of started in the UK or somewhere, because you did start seeing more things like this, um, with like 3 songs or a long play LP instead of just a 45. So that one's out of the UK, and that's kind of a cool have. You see these come across, fairly often. Those other two Stevie Nicks ones, not so much anymore. I scour eBay probably about 13 times a day at a minimum. I have no money, but I'm constantly on eBay. I'm intrigued. I like seeing what comes on as such, as evidenced by my entire collection. But I am interested in just what's out there, what things sell for now, what things are still coming out. And I have to say, the records just seem to get more and more sparse and scarce. Um, and then other things will pop up, like there's a record I'll show you, quite a bit later, and it's pretty rare. But all of a sudden, there's quite a few of them, and they're going for like $100, $200 right now. And but then there's the whole plethora, like I told you, with 45s, where people are saying these are picture discs. And someday maybe I'll do a video on that whole epidemic, not pandemic, epidemic of people making fake stuff, because I right click all of it and save it and make a little side folder, because again, it's just interesting. And I like to remind myself that this is fake, or maybe I'm wrong. And if I see a ton of them after a while, maybe this one by chance is not a fake. So I always kind of save that stuff. But yeah, the more and more I look on eBay, Discogs seems pretty plentiful in having this kind of stuff. And then the best way to go about this is that if you are a record collector or just watching this for fun, or you see anything once or twice that is of interest to you, go record hunting. Go to a record store and spend a day. It's so much fun digging through stuff. You never know what you'll find. This is kind of a good example. I had found this. Somebody had this in their collection, I think, and I went searching for it. I think I did end up finding it on eBay, but there are a lot of these. This is a Japan promo compilation, distributed by Warner Pioneer, and summer of '83. And you can see Stevie Nicks' name is right here. And then this includes Stand Back on the collection. So I kind of have it with Stand Back. And nothing special on the inside, just it's a sample promotional only record. So again, I think this is something that in Japan they might have sent out to their radio stations, with a selection of big summer hits or songs that they hoped would be summer hits. Or they had to have been summer hits already, because Stand Back absolutely took off right away. As did, I mean, there's some other people on here. In Excess, Chuck Walsh, Talking Heads, Burning Down the House. Come on. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Robert Plant. There's some really good stuff on here. And these are fun to look up, too. And these you can find crate digging, which is what I call going to record stores and spending the entire day, or looking for on eBay or Discogs. A lot of look up Warner Pioneer things, or just when you look up a certain song by any artist, not, you know, I just rattled off all those other names. If you collect somebody else, it's fun to find. There's just so many compilations and weird little mixed up things that your favorite artist could be on. So I really like coming across these kind of things. So that one's from Japan. So now going on to the next hit for Stevie that came out was the If Anyone Falls 12-inch single. That big beautiful painting by, what did I say, it's Monica Morabita, I believe, which I had brought her up when I talked about the 45s. I just love it in just a full frame like this. A little image in here, so pretty. Yeah, this is a really nice promo item. This would definitely be the lesser seen of the two, Wild Heart to this one. If Anyone Falls, it's funny, Stevie Nicks does it in concert occasionally. But this song, I don't know, just never seemed to take off to me quite like Stand Back did. The video was a big hit. And I don't remember if I talked about it or if or where it charted when I talked about it in the 45s, but it just, like, whenever we talk about Wild Heart, we talk about Stand Back, and we just talk about the Wild Heart album in general, but a lot of people don't call out If Anyone Falls as a particular favorite or having gone anywhere. So, and it says If Anyone Falls with an If Anyone Falls, and this is as well, which it doesn't even mention here. This one says, I believe it is the same. It is same. So it doesn't say long, short, stereo, mono, just the same on both sides. But it is kind of strange. It doesn't say anything on the back. So that is that single. Now we're going to get into the album itself, album proper. Sorry about that. And the first one, obviously, United States. The only copies I have are straight up plum, store-bought United States. No Columbia House. Why are my eyes itching? I'm so sorry. The album was really nice, really nicely done. This beautiful sleeve. Love this picture with Sharon, Lori, and Sandy Stewart. Stevie. There's some outtakes from this photo session, which I have some of that are just stunning. Gorgeous photo session. I love the hand tinting that Stevie did. I also have a really unique outtake of this photo, which I can't wait to share when I get an opportunity. It's a great little photo of everybody. And yeah, so there's this with the liner notes of all the thank yous, and there's a ton of thank yous. I mean, she just went all out on it. And then there's a separate sheet that had all the words and lyrics and such. So any of the U.S. recordings, that's what should be in that one. And like I said, none I have are from Columbia House or BMG or anything like that. I just have the standard. I just have a lot of copies from the U.S., as you'll see why in a second. I think this one was apart. I had this one apart to show you already, but so just a copy. This one is the same thing, sealed, and just has the hype sticker. So same deal, just a sticker on the front, and it's got a little nub at the bottom. That kind of sucks, but you know, it's okay. It's fine. I'm keeping it. Then we have the Modern Records released one, the promo, again for radio stations. Not only has this big sticker here, but it has this information on the back. The gold stamp with the number and everything. So that kind of stands out. Once again, as I brought up in the past, there's nothing on the media itself, which is kind of a weird thing. Again, if you're listening in Discogs or you're a person like me who has to have a list of things, it's kind of weird to put this down when everything about it is the same. It's just a sticker. Now, a hype sticker, I don't count that in my Discogs and other stuff. In fact, if I have something with a hype sticker, it's probably the USA release I'm going to list as the copy that I own with the hype sticker, not the other ones. This one, or if I didn't have one with the hype sticker, it probably would have been this one. It's hard for me to add this as another copy because even though it is, as I mentioned before, there's no stating on the media that it's a promotional copy. It's the same record inside, but it's the jacket that has all the promo only stickers and stamps on it. So it's kind of strange. Next up, we have Canada. Canada is it Canada that had it, or was it one of these? No. Canada, again, we have the Canadian showing the little maple leaf. Everything else is the same label, same pink label as the US copy. Same sleeve. This one have its... Yep. Has the inner lyric. And I believe... This one's a little bit darker, I'd say. Wouldn't you? Let's see that one here. That one open. Yeah, that's interesting, huh? This one's real violet, and this one's kind of like a deep purple, almost black. Could just be could just be hard to say. But yeah, this one's so Canadian. Next up, we have another one. I think I had brought this up with the Belladonna one that I had. I was mentioning that I had a really nice copy from Mexico, and it was so neat to me because it was one of the only times where there was like a really nice thick jacket. It was nicely put together. Just seemed a lot better than some of the 45s or some of the Fleetwood Mac albums I had from Mexico. And this is another situation where we have, the real nice shiny jacket. We have everything on the side just like it should be. All the licensing, all the information at the bottom. This one has instead of a jacket, this is a single sleeve. And then a single sleeve with lyrics. And yeah, it has the same number at the bottom, so that is definitely from Mexico. So this definitely should be inside with it. And then they put the album itself in its own little paper. And then you have the different tag. So this one, again, from Mexico, much like the Belladonna one, really nicely packaged. Much better than some of those Fleetwood Mac 45s that I had. Next up, we have what I thought was Germany. When I was looking at it before I started filming, I actually looked at these a little bit just to make sure. So I was so messed up with the Mirage. I was kind of so embarrassed about that. I should have started the video over, but it's been a really hard week, and there's a health scare in the family, a very serious one. So it's just a crazy week. So I just could not. I had no time to start that video again. And I like to kind of have them done in advance, and just in case I do make a big mistake and such. But anyway, This one is really neat because I was saying it's from Germany, but it's funny. It has all the different licensing information, like, and it says France a lot also. France and Italia. So it just could be the overall overseas, like maybe it would be unusual that, as you've seen from prior records, that the one in Germany, the one in France, the one in Italy would all look exactly the same. Sometimes it's just a little bit of the font. It's the text is a little bit bigger, something, or the numbers up here are bigger. But I kind of wonder if that's the case for this one. Is they just licensed it out, and this is what they look like. And I have this one from Germany, but it could also be because probably on the record, I'm going to guess I'm right. Yes, I have the magnifying glass because I can't see. With the glasses. No no comments, please. But I'm pretty sure, yeah. I mean, it says on the record itself, made in Germany. So I'm still going to consider this a German record. And I can read that. I just want to make sure, I really can. But I just want to make sure that it didn't have all the other places on it. And some of them I can't read, but yeah. And then these are just little cheaters because they look cute. So these aren't even really good glasses. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Next up, we have not such great packaging. These are fun. I love these records. These are keepers. These are some of my favorites. This is South Korea. Now, what's funny is that this is legit. I'm confident. This came out probably in 1983. And now, because we have the internet and everything, we always joke about Temu, right? Temu made things a shine, however you say it, records. Straight up, this would be a Temu record right now. People would joke, like, you order from Tower Records, but you get Temu. But still, you know, it's flimsy, but it's a jacket. It's not like a piece of paper wrapped up in saran wrap like in the past. And then on the back they have all the lyrics. Yeah, all the lyrics on the back. I mean, they made an effort to put a back on there. This is what the I'll show you in a second. On the China record, this little hack is on there, and then I think you saw on the American one the sticker. So could have just copied it, and then this is the record itself. Is it live or is it Memorex? I don't know, but I think it's real, and it's it's funny. I'm not sure I even noticed this. I'm sure it's just wiped off, but it looks like Stevie Nicks or something like that. That's funny, right? Yeah, on the back even it looks like it's Nichs Stevif. That's funny. I'm not sure I ever realized that before. Yeah, it's a keeper, man. This is a prized possession here. Love it. Now this one I think I played though. I think I'm gonna make separate videos on that because, like I said, for the 100th time, you might not be watching these in order. I really just pulled all this stuff out and I just wing it. I come on because I just want to talk to you like I'm talking to somebody here because that's how I like to talk about my stuff. But I think that later, after going through all these videos, especially since so many people seem to enjoy them, bless your hearts, it would be funny to like duel like this one against China or something like that and see what the sound quality is. And I know that I've touched 99% of them, and they all are the record that was sent. All the way through, maybe not. I know that I have some records of other artists where, like, on one side it's something. Somebody's just telling me they had I think Fleetwood Mac or a Stevie Nicks record, and it was Stevie Nicks on one side and like Boston on the other. And it wasn't like a radio show like something I'd shown you recently. It was like a real record, and it was just a complete mess. So, yeah, maybe I'll make another video, and I can't play the music uh, on the video that I'm making, but I could be listening to it or something, just mentioning if the sound quality is different, or if they're complete bugger ups, if they're transferred from like cassette, or who knows. It would be kind of funny, be an interesting video. But again, with quality, said nobody, we have China. And China, I don't know, little bit more effort. At least we have the right color tone, color scheme going on here. I will not forget finding this. Here we have what I'm talking about. I love it. It's like literally a piece of paper. Can you see this? Make it out. It's like wrapped in saran wrap. It's not even an opening. Yeah, that's the cover. Classy. It's not even cardboard. It's like, flimsy paper. They put the lyrics, bless their hearts. And they still took some effort to put some catalog numbers. The information. And I am not picking on China. It's badass, man. I think if a foreign country gets Stevie Nicks material, they're A-okay with me. I'm not picking on them. I mean, if you want to make the album because people are buying it and want to hear Stevie Nicks or Fleetwood Mac, sign me up. I'm all about it. But when you see the product, it's kind of humorous because then this little additional part, and then this is the record. However, the record does say Stevie Nicks, not Stevie Nicks. It's so funny. I've never noticed that on that other record. So, New Gen Shang, which I don't think they say. I mean, JS is here. So I guess, yeah. So that is it from my foreign ones. Funny enough, before I was making the video, and I'm sorry to go so long, we're almost done. My friend that I bring up a lot, she has a Japanese Wild Heart. And I always joke that, she's given me so much of her stuff, it's just kind of landed in my hands because she doesn't have record player anymore. She's just not interested, whatever. But someone gifted her the Japan Wild Heart album. And I have it in like one of these LP, the little snapback LP frames. She moved recently, so I guess I gave it back to her. Probably because where I had it, I have two other items hanging up, and they're not in there. They're not behind something else. So I must have given it to her, and because she had it in the frame, either she had it in the frame or I did. I'm not sure, but I thought, oh, it's still here somewhere, and I could at least take it out and show you the insert and everything else. It's not the case. I swore I had it, but it's not in the house, and I tore this house apart looking for it before I made the video because it would have been nice to at least show you, even though it's not mine, and I keep trying to take it from her. But it's unusual that I don't have the Japan copy of something, so I do need to track that one down. And again, that one's not too terribly, Japan standard issues of just regular records aren't terrible. It's just one I haven't bothered to get of my own because I had her copy in my collection, even though it wasn't mine for a while. So, but that was just kind of funny. It's not here, so I'm kind of worried, but I'm hoping I just gave it back to her because she could hang it up in her house now. So wrapping up, fast forwarding, because that was all the foreign copies from '83. We have the reissue that came out in 2016. Can read that without the magnifying glass. Thank you very much. This one is still sealed, and this one is just the remastered 2016 release. Yeah. So I think I just listened to it on CD, maybe, which is why I haven't. Maybe my what do you call it? Receiver. I thought my speakers were out, but my receiver needs a tune-up, I guess. And so I just haven't listened to a lot of stuff in a while. And I definitely would want to wait to compare those albums, like I said, until I get the tuner fixed. But you know, a lot of the times I just, when I was working, I would just get these albums and put them in, keep up with it, and you know, someday I'll get around to it, and haven't. So but again, in going through these videos, it would be really nice to catch up on all the stuff and just kind of see what's what and the sounds and such, and check out the reissued one and see if it's as good as everyone says. Sometimes there's some that I do have and open up immediately because right off the bat people are like, "Holy hell, this is the way to listen to it. This best pressing." Some people are saying that the Belladonna that just came out is just immaculate. It's a really good recording, so that one I'd probably crack open, but that one just not. I'll close up with the Stevie stuff with the really cool interview. It's a 2-record set, I believe, and it was, I put 83-ish up here. There's no date on it. It's all Wild Heart stuff, so I'm guessing from the 83. I don't know, did her tour go into 84, but somewhere around there. It doesn't say what is on there, just all the segments and such, but I know I played this one, and it doesn't go past Wild Heart, so it's definitely stuff. Could be just between Belladonna and Wild Heart, could be between Mirage and Wild Heart, it's hard to say, but I just have it with my Wild Heart stuff. And for interest, if you're looking for it, it is the Jim Ladd interview, INNERVIEW, which, if you know, Jim Ladd was a huge Stevie Nicks fan and friend. And there's quite a few interview type things with him and Fleetwood Mac or Stevie or Lindsey, Chris, etc. This is series number 25, show number 7. If you're looking for it on Discogs or seeing if you have it in your private collection. We're going to wrap this up. I'm just hitting about the 30-minute mark, which I don't feel too bad because I was able to go over everything. There's actually a lot more. I thought I was going to show some of the Mick stuff, the pre-Wild Heart albums, and then break it up with Lindsey and Christine's material, which will be the next video, and I hope you'll join me for that, because there's a lot of really great stuff, but that's quite a pile. I'm kind of, yeah, I'm hoping I can knock that one out in one video. But at the end, on the 24th of June, so the same month, about a couple weeks later, Mick Fleetwood released his album, I'm Not Me. And there's a couple singles that came from that. If you recall, I had the 45 for this one, and it's Angel Come Home. And I want to say, and now I'm forgetting again, it was either I'm sure it's Angel Come Home, right? Where Mick Fleetwood had been in Stevie's video, and then or that's Angel Come Back. Yeah, no, wait, Angel Come Home. Angel Come Home, sorry. Yeah, that is right. I'm pretty sure I'm right. And then Stevie's at the tail, like, last 10 seconds of Mick Fleetwood's video. So, yeah, this is straight on the heels of Wild Heart, Mick Fleetwood's album, I'm Not Me. This was the 12-inch single for Angel Come Home. Double-sided, same on both sides, same version. And then he had a single for I Want You Back. And on the back of that, same thing, front and back. I actually don't have the album, if you can believe it, which I'm kind of surprised I don't. But I have the singles. What I do have, and which is surprisingly a really good show, is from March 26, 1984, so kind of jumping ahead of me. Well, I'm going into 84. I have a Zoo or Mick Fleetwood in concert from Live Country Club, Reseda, California, I think, November 25th, 1983. And this is a really good show. It's Mick, I want to say Billy. I don't know if Rick Vito's there, I don't remember. I tried to write down I still don't think I got it right. But it's a little bit of an interview, a little bit of a, like there's a Budweiser jingle, so definitely a radio show, and then in concert, and it's really good. And it was a broadcast thing in concert, Somebody put that sticker there. I did not. It was really cool. I found this. In Missouri. I was traveling with my parents, and I went to a record store and was just really happy. I even saved their business card from where I got it. But yeah, it's a two record set. Yeah, and it's just a really good show, and I think kind of rare, kind of unique. You know, Mick and Lindsay and Christine. So, Christine and Lindsay are pretty prolific, but Mick Fleetwood stuff didn't get quite as much, publicity and such as Stevie and everybody else. So I thought this was kind of cool to have. So that'll wrap up this video. Next, like I said, we will have Christine and Lindsay. And there's some really great stuff. I really encourage you to come look. Some good stories and some signed stuff. And anyway, so thank you so much for joining me. Let me know what you think of the South Korea album. And no, don't let me know about looking at things with my magnifying glass, okay? Thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Good night.